right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in Sunday night edition of our Play at Home Trivia Nights. Thanks for joining me as we wrap up this weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed some of the time out with this great weather we've been having. It's going to be a while before we can enjoy some 70-degree days, that's for sure. But we're going to wrap it up with a fun night of Play at Home Trivia. So welcome in. We'll give it another minute or so. Let everybody who wants to join in, join in. And while we do that, I will go over our rules pretty quick. If we have any new first-time players joining us, now that we are broadcasting through 3 different outlets. So if you're joining us on Periscope and or YouTube, welcome in. Hopefully you stick around and play. Here is how we do play our Play at Home Trivia Nights. We're going to play 5 rounds of pub-style trivia. First round, as always, is a picture round, followed by 3 specific categories. And then we will do a round of general trivia to end the night. Each round is made up of 5 questions worth 1 point each, and a bonus question that's a little bit harder, so it's worth 2 points. So I'm going to ask you 30 questions total. Tonight the game takes a little over an hour, about an hour and 15 minutes or so, depending on how many distractions we get along the way. Here's how the game breaks down. I'm going to read you the question. You are going to write your answers down on your score sheets. You can either head over to the Facebook page and you'll see that there's a link to a PDF file. Pin it to the top. You can print that out. I'm actually going to put that link in the comment section right now. So you can go ahead and print that out and use our official, kind of official, branded score sheet if you'd like. If not, you can then just use any piece of paper you've got written down. Sorry, I'm just reading what this says to me. Okay, never mind. So yes, I'm going to read you the questions. You're going to write down your answers on your score sheets at home. Please do not put any of your answers in the comment section. So you can use either the score sheet I just put the link in the comments for, or you can use a piece of scratch paper. Just make sure there's enough room for 30 answers and they're grouped together by rounds. Please do not put any answers in the comment section. Save them for your score sheets. After I repeat the questions for each round to you, I'm going to read you the answers after I give you a moment to kind of finalize your sheets. And you're going to score your own score sheets at home. So please, no cheating, no looking up answers, filling in the blanks, changing to correct answers, anything of that nature. At the end of the final round, our general trivia round, you are going to take a picture of your score sheet with all 5 rounds added up and your final score, but nice and big so I can see it. And you're going to send that picture to me on Facebook Messenger, either the Trivia Nights with Greg account or my personal Facebook account. If you're playing on either YouTube or Periscope, you can go ahead and send me that picture in the comments. As always, you are allowed to double your score for 1 round by circling your group of answers for that particular round before I read you the correct answers. So while you get a minute in between when I repeat the questions and give you the answers, if you think you've done real well for a particular round, you think you got all 6 questions right, go ahead and put a big circle around your entire round, and then you can give yourself double the amount of points for that round. All I ask is you please don't wait till after the answers are read in order to, before you circle your score. When we play the game in person, hopefully soon again, Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, you turn in your score sheets before the answers are read. So you don't have your score sheets with you when you hear the answers. So in the spirit of that game, please decide the round you're going to double before you hear the answers. Don't wait till after the answers are read and then say, hey, we got 6 of those right, let's double that. Or wait to the end of the night and just pick your best round and double that. That's not in the spirit of the game. So basically the only 3 major rules you can break are cheating of any kind, looking up answers, changing answers, anything of that nature, putting answers in the comment section, and then waiting to double your score for your round after the answers are read. Other than that, we're going to have a good time tonight. And here are our categories for this Sunday night. Our picture round, our Chicago Bears greats. It's a Sunday. A lot of people spend their Sunday afternoons here in Chicago swearing at their TV at the Bears. So we're going to do some Chicago Bears greats. I'm going to show you some pictures of Bears players from years past. You have to identify who they are. Round number 2, celebrity endorsements. We'll talk about some of the celebrities and the products they famously peddled over the years. Round 3, paint the town red. That is going to be a round all about things that are red or named red or anything, all things red. So it's got a red theme to that category. Movie first is round number 4. That will be all questions on the first time certain things happened in the movie industry. And then we will end the night with general trivia. Just some random questions on all sorts of topics to finish our night. Just so you know, those middle 3 rounds, they include multiple choice and true false questions to kind of help you out along the way, but the general trivia does not. So to keep that in mind, if you're holding out to double your score for a round, there are no multiple choice or true false in the general trivia round. And as you see scrolling before we get started with our game, there you see the information for my PayPal and or Venmo if you'd like to send a tip. My 2 main sources of income are not being allowed to take place right now. I cannot host trivia in front of large groups, and there are no hockey games or scouting assignments for me to get paid to go cover. So right now, tips are what I am trying to scrape on by. So tips are not required in order to play, but they sure are appreciated. So if you're feeling generous and like to send a little something, the PayPal and Venmo info will be scrolling at the bottom. If you don't want to send a tip but still want to help out, hockeywriters.com, that address on the bottom of the screen. Head over to my author page over there and start clicking away and reading all those hockey history and prospect posts and Blackhawk news articles. Every click I get, the more clicks I get, the more money they send me. So that is another way to help out. Plus, you never know when something from one of those hockey history posts is going to show up in the form of a trivia question. So those are our categories. Those are the promos, the begging and pleading for the night. It's time to move on to the game. That's why we're all here. We're here to play a little trivia for a little distraction on our Sunday night as we head into another crazy week. Hopefully not too crazy. Round number 1 is our picture round, and it is Chicago Bears greats. I'm going to show you pictures of 5 different Chicago Bears players. You just have to identify who these players are. Now, the category is Chicago Bears greats, so that obviously means nobody who played today is going to be on there because not too many great players currently reside on that Bears roster. So let's do it. Let's do our picture round. Chicago Bears greats. Here we go. Picture round. Number 1, there he is. Who is that Chicago Bear great? Chicago Bears great number 1. What is this guy's name? This is a future United States heavyweight champion in WCW, future member of the 4 Horsemen, and a Super Bowl winner here in Chicago. This is round number 1 of 5 on your score sheets. Let's move on to great number 2, Chicago Bears great number 2. There he is. What is this guy's name? Another one of many great defensive players the Bears have had over the years. Just don't ask this guy for a ride home in his Lamborghini. Take an Uber, you're safer. This is number 2. Here comes Chicago Bears great number 3 on your screen. There he is. All right. Let's see here. Does that help out a little bit? You can see his number there. 74 is what we're looking for there as we flip to the other side of the football for a change. Chicago Bears great number 3. Don't forget that we have the Trivia Nights with Greg YouTube channel up and running. Another place you can play the live games, and eventually you get to play all the old games as soon as I get them all downloaded. But if you next time you're on YouTube, search Trivia Nights with Greg and hit the subscribe button. That'd be awesome. Speaking of YouTube, tomorrow at 7, we are starting over at the Hockey Writers a hopefully soon to be weekly Monday nights live stream Blackhawks banter. I will be on the Hockey Writers YouTube channel streaming live at 7 o'clock with some of my other members of the Blackhawks writing team over there, just to kind of recapping what's been going on with the Hawks over the off season. So if you can join us at 7 o'clock on the Hockey Writers YouTube channel, that would be fantastic. That's tomorrow at 7. Here's Bears great number 4. This guy had a hard job of replacing a legend, but he did a pretty darn good job of it. Did a pretty good job. It's always hard to try and be the first guy in after an all-time great, but I wouldn't call this guy an all-time great, but he was pretty good. He had a pretty decent career here for the Bears for a few years. And number 5, our final picture clue of this round. Here he is. This is one of our most recent. Him and number 2 are pretty recent. They were part of the same teams. He was an important member of that Bears team that last made the Super Bowl in 2006. Now we got a bonus question for our Chicago Bears greats round. Here it is. Walter Payton was the NFL's all-time leading rusher from 1984 until 2003 for 2 points. Whose rushing record did he break on October the 7th, 1984? Walter Payton was the NFL's all-time leading rusher from 1984 to 2003 for 2 points. Whose rushing record did he break on October the 7th, 1984? Who was the all-time leading rusher in the NFL before Walter Payton came along? All right. I'm going to show you these picture clues a second time in case you need to see any. Again, here comes number one. Chicago Bears great number one. Here is number two, second time. And number three, they certainly could use this guy these days. Like, even in his current age and condition, he's probably better than anything they got going on at his former position. Number four, Chicago Bears great number four. And here is number five one last time for you. And our bonus question one last time for you. Walter Payton held the NFL record for most rushing yards from 1984 to 2003 for 2 points. Whose record did he break back in October 7th, 1984? Walter Payton was the NFL's all-time leading rusher from 1984 to 2003. Whose rushing record did he break in 1984? All right, I'll give you guys a minute or two here to put together your final answers. If you think you did real well on your Chicago Bears players and you want to double your points, now is the time to circle your group of answers. Just put a big circle right around your whole group of answers, and then you can give yourself twice as many points for this particular round. If not, if you didn't do so hot with your Chicago Bears players, you can use that option for any one of the next 4 rounds. We have celebrity endorsements, paint the town red, all things red in that category. Firsts in the movies, movie firsts, and then general trivia. Just remember, no multiple choice or true false in the general trivia category. All right, let's do our answers. Our Chicago Bears greats. This was our picture round number one. Let's see who these dudes were. Number one, right there, later became a WCW wrestler, Steve McMichael. One of the few people that I know of, maybe the only that I know of, that was kicked out of Wrigley Field shortly after singing the 7th inning stretch when he threatened Angel Hernandez after a few adult beverages at one time. That was a good time. Number two, double fives, 55. Lance Briggs is number two. Lance Briggs. Bears great number three, one of the best offensive linemen that ever play for the Bears, and they could sure use him now. Jimbo Covert. Jimbo Covert. Can we clone 74 and get him out there for the Bears before next week? Number four, this was the man who had the large shoes of Walter Payton to fill, but he did pretty well during his career. Running back Neil Anderson is who we're looking for. Good old number 35, Neil Anderson. And our fifth and final picture clue. This man had a knack for scoring defensive touchdowns. One of the best safeties to play the game here in Chicago, Mike Brown. Mike Brown is number 5. And our bonus question for Walter Payton was the NFL's leading rusher from 1984 to 2003 for 2 points. Whose record did he break? On October the 7th, 1984, he broke the record of Jim Brown. Jim Brown is our bonus question answer. So those answers again, Steve McMichael was number 1. Lance Briggs was number 2. Number 3, Jimbo Covert. Neil Anderson was number 4. Mike Brown, number 5. Bonus question was Jim Brown. No relation between Mike and Jim that I'm aware of. So that wraps up round number 1. Our picture round is in the books. Chicago Bears greats. We could use a few of those guys for sure, because whatever that was today was pretty pathetic. Let's move on to round number 2. It is celebrity endorsements. We're going to do a whole round on all the different celebrities and the products they have endorsed throughout the years. Some of the more famous commercials from yesterday and today. So let's jump right into round number 2 on your score sheets. Celebrity endorsements. Question number 1. Bob Uecker made the line, "I must be in the front row," famous while appearing in commercials for what beer? Bob Uecker made the line, "I must be in the front row," famous while appearing in commercials for what beer? Kind of jump-started his career again. I want to say this was early 80s. Before he got his role on Mr. Belvedere, which is a highly underrated show. What beer, "I must be in the front row," was Bob Uecker selling back in the day? They used a lot of ex-pro athletes for a lot of their more famous ad campaigns back then. Question number 2, sticking with sports guys and selling stuff on your TVs. Which Hall of Fame quarterback has spent years pimping isotoner gloves? Is it John Elway, Joe Montana, or Dan Marino? Which Hall of Fame quarterback has spent years pimping isotoner gloves? John Elway, Joe Montana, or Dan Marino? He's been doing this since like the 80s. And I think he still does. It'll show up in a commercial, usually around Christmas time. So I'm sure that's already on the air by now, because we skip right over. We go from Halloween right to Christmas these days. We skip over November. But which quarterback has sold gloves on his spare time for many a year? Was that Elway, Montana, or Marino? Question 3, true or false? Jenny Craig once fired Kirstie Alley as their spokesman for being too fat. True or false? Jenny Craig once fired Kirstie Alley as their spokeswoman for being, quote, too fat. I mean, it is hard to be a spokesperson for the weight loss community, weight loss program if you're not looking like you've lost weight anytime soon. True or false? Jenny Craig once fired Kirstie Alley as their spokeswoman for being, quote, too fat. Number 4, Brad Paisley and Peyton Manning have been paired in commercials for what insurance company? Is that State Farm, Nationwide, or Farmers? Country music singer Brad Paisley and former NFL quarterback Peyton Manning have been paired together in some commercials for what insurance company? Are they State Farm commercials, Nationwide, or Farmers Insurance commercials? Which insurance company gives you the Paisley and Manning commercials? Number 5, who told you that eating Quaker Oats was the right thing to do in the 1980s and 90s? Who told you that eating Quaker Oats was the right thing to do in the 80s and 90s? He also became a spokesperson for a disease that affects many Americans. May or may not have been poked fun of for the way he pronounced said disease. Who told you that eating Quaker Oats was the right thing to do in the 80s and 90s? And our bonus question. For 2 points, who was the first athlete to ever appear on a box of Wheaties way back in 1934? For 2 points, who was the first athlete to appear on a box of Wheaties in 1934? For 2 points, who was the first athlete to appear on a box of Wheaties? Let's do these questions one more time for you. Celebrity endorsements is the round. Question number 1, Bob Uecker made the line, "I must be in the front row," famous while appearing in commercials for what beer? Number 2, which Hall of Fame quarterback has spent years pimping for isotoner gloves? Is it John Elway, Joe Montana, or Dan Marino? Number 3, true or false, Jenny Craig once fired Kirstie Alley as their spokeswoman for being too freaking fat. Number 4, Brad Paisley and Peyton Manning have been paired in commercials for what insurance company? State Farm, Nationwide, or Farmers? Brad Paisley, Peyton Manning, who are they endorsing? State Farm, Nationwide, or Farmers Insurance? Number 5, who told you that eating Quaker Oats was the right thing to do in the 80s and 90s? Who was all about the Quaker Oats back in the 80s and 90s? And the bonus question for 2 points, who was the first athlete to appear on a box of Wheaties in 1934? One of the few boxes in the history of the company that didn't have Michael Jordan on the cover in some way, shape, or form was not Michael Jordan. I could tell you that much. Who was a big-time athlete in 1934? All right, I'm going to give you guys a few seconds here to finalize these answers before I read you the correct ones. If you're feeling confident and you want to use your double score option for this round, go ahead and circle your entire group of answers right now. You still got 3 more chances to do that. If you don't like the Trivia Nights with Greg Facebook page, please make sure you're clicking that at some point. Most of you already do, but that's really, you'll get up to date on all of our categories for our play at home nights. I'll keep you posted on when we can return to Firewater Saloon on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. No word on that, and probably not for a while. And we might do some other fun stuff there. Also, if you're thinking of now that we're probably going to have our big holiday parties virtual, if you'd like to have a play at home trivia custom game made for your holiday party, maybe for for your job or for your family, and I can come up and give you guys your own customized trivia night game to play at your convenience. You get to pick the categories. I can write categories for you, all customized. You'll get your own PowerPoint presentation that you can then add to your Zoom calls or play at home. So if you'd like your own play at home trivia game, please reach out to me, either email me or send me a message on Facebook, and we can make that happen. So if you'd like a Christmas game or a Thanksgiving game or just any old game for a birthday party or a team building exercise on Zoom, I'm your guy. I can create a customized play at home trivia game for your needs. All right, let's do our answers for celebrity endorsements. Number one, Bob Uecker made the line, "I must be in the front row," while appearing in commercials for Miller Lights. Miller Lights tastes great, less filling. I must be in the front row. That's our answer for number one. Number two, which Hall of Fame quarterback has spent years pimping isotoner gloves? That would be Dan Marino. Dan Marino is the glove guy. Number three, true or false, Jenny Craig once fired Kirstie Alley as their spokeswoman for being, quote, too fat. That is true. Too fat is actually what they put down in the official press release. So apparently they didn't care much for Ms. Kirstie Alley, which is not shocking. Number four, Brad Paisley and Peyton Manning have been paired in commercials for Nationwide Insurance. That's the insurance company they are doing commercials for, Nationwide. Number five, who told you that eating Quaker Oats was the right thing to do in the 1980s and 90s? It was definitely the right things to do if you had yourself someone of diabetes. Wilford Brimley is who we're looking for, the late, great Wilford Brimley. Played the Postmaster General on an episode of Seinfeld as well. Bonus question for 2 points. Who was the first athlete to appear on a box of Wheaties in 1934? That'd be Lou Gehrig. Excuse me, Lou Gehrig was the first athlete on a box of Wheaties, so he started that trend. So once again, those answers are number one, Miller Lights. Dan Marino was number two. Number three was true. Nationwide is number four. Wilford Brimley, Mr. Diabetes himself, number five. And Lou Gehrig was the bonus question answer. So that wraps up celebrity endorsements. Now it is time to move on to our red round. Paint the town red. All things red. So all of our answers or questions will be regarding things that are red. Pretty straightforward and simple. Excuse me. It's going to be one of those nights with the itchy throat. So let's move through this as quickly as possible so I can hack up along someplace else and not on camera. Question number one, round three on your score sheet, Paint the Town Red. What song, originally written and recorded by Neil Diamond, also became a big hit for the British reggae band UB40? What song, originally written and recorded by Neil Diamond, became a big hit for the British reggae band UB40? Question two, which of these leading English football teams does not use red as their primary color? Manchester United, Chelsea, or Arsenal? Which one of these leading English football teams does not use red as their primary color? Manchester United, Chelsea, or Arsenal? Question number 3, true or false, the Detroit Red Wings play at the Little Caesars Arena? True or false, the Detroit Red Wings play at the Little Caesars Arena? Question number 4, which of the following is not a red wine? Cabernet excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I got an itchy throat tonight. It's going to be a long night. Which one of those 3 is not a red wine? Looking for which one of those is not a red wine. All right, number 5. Entrepreneur Bill Darden founded what chain of restaurants in Florida back in 1968? Entrepreneur Bill Darden founded what chain of restaurants in Florida back in 1968? And our bonus question for 2 points. Name the Major League Baseball commissioner who suspended Cincinnati Reds manager Pete Rose for life for betting on baseball. For 2 points, name the Major League Baseball commissioner who rightfully suspended Cincinnati Reds manager Pete Rose for life for betting on baseball. All right, I'm going to repeat this round for you. Number 1, what song originally written and recorded by Neil Diamond became a big hit for the British reggae band UB40? Number 2, which of these leading English football teams do not use red as their primary color? Was that Man U, Chelsea, or Arsenal? Number 3, true or false, Detroit Red Wings play at the Little Caesars Arena? Number 4, which one of these is not a red wine? Number 5, entrepreneur Bill Darden founded what chain of restaurants in Florida back in 1968? Florida man finds what restaurant? And the bonus question for 2 points, name the MLB commissioner who suspended Cincinnati Reds manager Pete Rose for life for betting on baseball. All right, I'll give you guys a second here to finalize those answers. You're going to use your double score for this round. If you haven't used it already, go ahead and circle your answers right now. We only have 2 rounds left. First in the movies and our general trivia round to end the evening. All right, let's do our answers for round number 3. What song, originally written and recorded by Neil Diamond, became a big hit for the British rock reggae band UB40? That would be Red Red Wine. Red Red Wine. That's a good tune right there. Number 2, which of these English football teams does not use red as their primary color? That would be Chelsea. Chelsea, those bums wear blue. Number 3, true or false, the Detroit Red Wings play at the Little Caesars Arena? That is true. Of course, the Ilitch family that owns the Red Wings and Tigers also own Little Caesars. So who knew you can make that much money selling $5 crappy pizzas that you can own 2 sports teams? Number 4, which of these is not a red wine? That, of course, is Chardonnay. Chardonnay is not a red wine. Number 5, Bill Darden, Florida man, founded the Red Lobster back in 1968. Red Lobster. Thank Mr. Darden for the Cheddar Bay biscuits. And the bonus question for 2 points. Name the Major League Baseball commissioner who suspended Cincinnati Reds manager Pete Rose, told him to get the F out for betting on baseball. Bart Giamatti. Bart Giamatti. Excuse me. He died of a heart attack a few days. I don't know about a few days, but shortly after all of that. He's actually the father of the actor Paul Giamatti. If you've ever seen Paul Giamatti, that's his dad. He was baseball commissioner for a brief moment in time. Those answers again. Number 1, red wine. Number 2 is Chelsea. Number 3 is true. Number 4 was Chardonnay. Red Lobster was number 5. And Bart Giamatti was the bonus question answer. All right, let's move on to round number 4. Struggling tonight, so let's do this quickly. Round number 4 is first in movies. We're talking about all things happen for the first time in the movie industry, either in a movie in particular or an innovation, something along those lines. First in movies, movie first is round number 4. So let's get on with it. Here is question number 1. The first ever Hollywood movie premiere took place in 1922 for a movie based on what character that was later played by the likes of Errol Flynn, Kevin Costner, and Russell Crowe? The first ever Hollywood movie premiere took place in 1922 for a movie based on what character later played on the big screen by the likes of Errol Flynn, Kevin Costner, and Russell Crowe? Quite a cast of characters right there. Question number 2. What 1937 Walt Disney classic was the first ever full-length animated movie to be released in theaters? Was it Snow White, Bambi, or Sleeping Beauty? What 1937 Walt Disney classic was the first ever full-length animated movie to be released in theaters? Was that Snow White, Bambi, or Sleeping Beauty? Question number 3. True or false? The first building dedicated exclusively to showing motion pictures opened in Los Angeles in 1896. True or false? The first building dedicated exclusively to showing motion pictures, i.e., movie theater, opened in Los Angeles in 1896. Question number 4. In 1909, the first full-length feature film produced in the United States was an adaptation of which Victor Hugo novel? Was that The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Les Mis, or The Man Who Laughs? In 1909, the first ever full-length feature film was produced in the United States, and it was an adaptation of what Victor Hugo novel? The Hunchback, Les Mis, or The Man Who Laughs? Number 5. What 1972 movie was the first to ever gross $100 million at the box office? What 1972 movie was the first to ever gross $100 million at the box office? And our bonus question for the movie firsts round. For 2 points, what movie studio was the first to make $1 billion at the box office in a calendar year back in 1994? Bonus question for 2 points. What movie studio was the first to ever make $1 billion at the box office in a calendar year back in 1994? What movie studio was the first to bag $1 billion? It's a lot of movie tickets. All right, let's repeat these again for you real quick. Number one, the first ever Hollywood movie premiere took place in 1922 for a movie based on what character? Later played by Errol Flynn, Kevin Costner, and Russell Crowe. Question number two, what 1937 Walt Disney classic was the first ever full-length animated movie to be released? Was that Snow White, Bambi, or Sleeping Beauty? Number three, the first building dedicated exclusively to showing motion pictures opened in Los Angeles in 1896. True or false? True or false? The first building dedicated exclusively to showing motion pictures opened in LA in 1896. Number four, in 1909, the first full-length feature film produced in the United States was an adaptation of which Victor Hugo novel? Hunchback of Notre Dame, Les Mis, or The Man Who Laughs? Number five, what 1972 movie was the first to ever gross $100 million at the box office? What movie was the first to hit the $100 million mark? And the bonus question one more time for 2 points. What movie studio was the first to make $1 billion in the course of a calendar year back in 1994? What movie studio was that? All right, I'll give you guys a minute here to finalize your answers. Use that double score option if you haven't used it yet. We have just one round left, and that's our general trivia round. There'll be no multiple choice or true false in that round. Usually our games are pretty close heading into that round. So that is just straight up. You either know it or you don't, to kind of hopefully create some separation between our top teams. Usually when we play live, our final round is a confidence round where you rank your answers kind of like a football confidence pool based on how confident you are the answers are right or wrong. And that usually separates our contenders from pretenders. But with only doing 5 questions per round, it's kind of difficult to do that. We do 10 questions on our in-person game. Hopefully we'll be back to those sooner rather than later, but based on the numbers that keep coming out, based on the amount of places that are still doing indoor service and not adhering to the rules, yeah, it's probably not going to happen for a while, but we can hope. Hopefully it won't be as long as the last time. All right, let's do our answers for movie first. Number one, the first ever Hollywood movie premiere took place in 1922 for a movie based on a character later played by Errol Flynn, Kevin Costner, Russell Crowe. That, of course, is Robin Hood. Robin Hood is question number one. Number two, what 1937 Walt Disney classic was the first ever full-length animated movie to be released in theaters? That was Snow White. Snow White was the first one. Number three. True or false, the first building dedicated exclusively to showing motion pictures was opened in LA in 1896. That is false. That first quote-unquote movie theater, it did open in 1896, but it opened on Canal Street in New Orleans. That is credited as the first movie theater in the country. Number 4, in 1909, the first full-length feature film produced in the United States was an adaptation of Les Mis. So long before it was a Broadway hit, it was the first ever movie produced in the United States. Number 5, what 1972 movie was the first to gross $100 million at the box office? Of course it did. The Godfather. It strong-armed its way to the cash box at $100 million. Finally, that bonus question for 2 points. What movie studio excuse me, was the first to make $1 billion at the box office in one calendar year? That year being 1994. That would be the Walt Disney Studios. Disney was the first to make $1 billion. Of course they were. I don't know which movies came out in 94, but that had to be like an Aladdin or Beauty and the Beast year. So those answers again are Robin Hood for number 1. Number 2 is Snow White. 3 is false. Les Mis was number 4. And The Godfather, number 5. Disney was the bonus question. Woo. All right. Let's go to our final round before I choke to death on the live internets. All right. General trivia is our final round of the evening. Here is what I'm going to ask you some random questions. You are hopefully going to come up with the specific answers of these 6 questions, our final 6 questions of the night. After I read you the answers to this, you're going to take a moment and add up the scores from all 5 of your rounds and take a picture of your score sheet and send it to me via Facebook Messenger so I can figure out who our big Sunday night winner is. So let's get going. The final round number 5, general trivia. Question 1, in what city can you find the famous Christ the Redeemer statue? In what city can you find the famous Christ the Redeemer statue? Question 2, who wrote the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Who wrote the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Question 3, what is the second largest planet in our solar system? What is the second largest planet in our solar system? Looking for the second biggest planet in the solar system. Question number 4. What was the name of the building? I'm sorry, the bulldog from the Tom and Jerry cartoons. What was the name of the bulldog from the Tom and Jerry cartoons? Looking for the name of the bulldog from the Tom and Jerry cartoons. Question number 5. On February 6, 1998, the Washington National Airport was renamed after which former U.S. president? On February 6, 1998, the Washington National Airport was renamed after what former U.S. president? And our bonus question, final question of the night for 2 points. How many pounds are in the British unit of measurement called a stone? How many pounds are in the British unit of measurement called a stone? Bit of a British flair tonight. We had some English football questions. Now we're talking about stones. All right. Let's repeat these questions for you one more time. Number 1, in what city can you find the famous Christ the Redeemer statue? What famous city can you find the Christ the Redeemer statue? Number 2, who wrote the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Not 2,000, that's a different book. Who wrote the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Question number 3, what is the second largest planet in our solar system? Second largest planet in the solar system. Number 4, what was the name of the bulldog from Tom and Jerry cartoons? What's the name of the bulldog from Tom and Jerry? That's number 4. Number 5, February 6, 1998, the Washington National Airport was renamed after what former U.S. president? And the bonus question one more time for 2 points. How many pounds are in the British unit of measurement called a stone? All right, I'm going to give you guys a few moments to finalize these answers. Once I am done reading you the correct answer, that's when you guys are going to go ahead and write your final scores, add up your rounds, write up your final scores on your sheets, and then start sending me those via Facebook Messenger. You can send them to either the Trivia Nights with Greg Facebook page or my personal account. It doesn't matter which one. Also, don't forget scrolling on the bottom of the screen if you'd like to send a tip. That's the information via PayPal or Venmo. Thanks for you guys who have been sending tips not only tonight in the last couple of days, but all through the original lockdown and quarantine. It was super helpful. So hopefully our play-at-home extended games won't last too long. But we will be back at it 3 straight nights later this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all 3 nights at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow night, Monday night at 7 o'clock, head over to the Hockey Writers Facebook page. You can check me out on the new episode of Blackhawks Banter. If you're a big Blackhawks fan, I want to catch up on everything they've done in the off season. That streams live at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. It's about an hour live streaming Blackhawks talk for you over on YouTube, the Hockey Writers. But if you follow Hockey Writers on Twitter, which you should be, and Facebook, I believe you'll be able to catch the links over there as well. All right, let's do our final answers of the night. So I can go cough in peace and not disgust any of you guys. Number 1, in what city would you find the famous Christ the Redeemer statue? That would be Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Rio, the big Jesus statue on top of the mountain there. That's the Christ the Redeemer statue. Number 2, who wrote the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Jules Verne. Jules Verne is who we're looking for. If you remember our Back to the Future night a few weeks ago, you learned that those were the names of Doc Brown's sons, Jules and Verne, in the Old West. Number 3, what is the second largest planet in our solar system? That would be Saturn. Saturn is that answer. That's number 3. Number 4, what was the name of the bulldog from the Tom and Jerry cartoons? His name was Spike. Spike, and he had no time for Tom's BS. Number 5, on February 6, 1998, the Washington National Airport was renamed after what former U.S. president? There's 2 airports in the D.C. area. There's Dulles, and then there's the Ronald Reagan National Airport. Reagan is what we're looking for there. And finally, our bonus question for 2 points. How many pounds are in the British unit of measurement called a stone? That would be 14. 14 pounds equals a stone over there in the land of the British. All right, so those answers again. Number 1 was Rio de Janeiro. Number 2 was Jules Verne. Saturn was the answer for number 3. Spike, number 4. Ronald Reagan, number 5. And the bonus question, final answer tonight, 14. So that wraps up the question and answer portion. Now I just need you guys to help me out and start sending me those scores so I can figure out who our big winners are tonight. Also, if you have any category suggestions for the rest of the week, for any future episodes, play at home nights, please feel free, share them in the comments, send them as you send in your score sheets, or send me a message on Facebook or text message. These nights are for you guys. They're not for me. You guys play the game. I just read the questions. So I'll be happy to read any questions you guys want. Just let me know if you have any ideas for our Thursday night themes. If you want to do a full theme on a specific subject, let me know. We can work that out. I haven't figured out what this week's Thursday theme is going to be, but as soon as I do, you will find out. Once again, all that can be found on the Facebook page. I'll be posting, and my Twitter account as well. I'll be posting Tuesday's categories Tuesday morning for you. That's our next time we're going to meet back here. All right, let's take a look at some of these scores. They're starting to roll in. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Casey, I have your score. Rico, Zimbabwe, and the Twins. Okay. All right. Thank you for playing along tonight. I appreciate it. I don't understand the reference on the name, but I'll have to Google that. All right. The Goonies, Carrie, I have your score. Thank you guys. As always, I appreciate it. You guys are the best. Speaking of the best, we have Team Rios, Joey, and Anna. Thank you guys for your score. Team Erase Board, I have your score. Thank you guys. Let's switch over here, see what we got going on. Yeah. right, Stacy, I've got your score. Thank you. Let's just double check one more spot. All right, let's get going here. We have a small Sunday night crowd. So let's see where we are. Put these answers up on the big board here. All right, we got one more coming in. I gotta go to the other account. What is going on here? Okay, Carson, I have your score. Thank you. All right, back to the scoreboard real quick. Give me a minute. We'll get all this up here. All right. Here we go. Here is our top 5 for our Sunday play at home random game. Here we go. Our top 5. 5th place with 22 points. S with no T or D. Nice job, Stacy, playing on your own tonight. Respectable 22 points. Guess if I'd done more Chris Jericho questions, you would have had a better score. Number 4, 4th place, 32 points. We have Carson and Rose Hose. Thank you, as always, for playing along. We have a tie for 2nd place between the Goonies and Rico Zimbabwe. You guys had 33 points. That's good enough for 2nd place. Our winner tonight, and for the 2nd straight evening, 2nd straight game, you guys were our music winners on Thursday. Team Rios, Team Dry Erase Board, Joey and Anna, 37 points. You guys take home another victory. 4 points. That's a pretty big win here and Play at Home Trivia Nights. So congratulations, you guys. I appreciate everybody stopping in and spending a little bit of time with me on a Sunday night. We're going to be back here playing trivia Tuesday night. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 o'clock right here on Facebook Live, Periscope, and YouTube. So join me on Tuesday. Send me your suggestions for categories or Thursday night themes. I'm open for any and all ideas. If you're a big Blackhawks fan, don't forget to check out the Hockey Writers YouTube channel tomorrow night. I'll be live on there with my other Blackhawks writers over there on the website. We'll be talking all things Hawks. That starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Please head over to the website and click away on those history articles and help me out if you can. Until Tuesday night, hopefully you stop by and listen to some hockey chatter tomorrow night. If not, we'll meet you back here Tuesday. Be safe, be good to one another, be good to yourselves, wear your masks, and let's get back to doing this in person sooner rather than later. Good night, everybody.